The night the campus generators failed, the hallways of Briarwood College sank into a darkness so complete it felt like the building had been holding its breath. Emergency lights flickered awake one by one, casting thin, sickly veins of white across the linoleum floors. The air hummed with a strange, quiet, the kind that presses against your ears and waits for you to, realize you are suddenly, deeply alone. Marla Turner sensed something was wrong the moment she stepped from her study room. She had been the last student left on the third floor of Hawthorne Hall, finishing an overdue paper that felt like her final chance at saving her grade. But now the corridor stretched before her like a hospital lung emptied of life. Doors lined the walls like frozen mouths. No footsteps, no voices, no hum from vending machines, only silence and a faint scraping sound from somewhere ahead. At first she thought it was a chair sliding, then maybe a shoe dragging. But as she walked, the sound adjusted to her pace, pausing when she paused, sliding when she moved. She called out once, but her voice felt swallowed before it reached the end of the hall. Fear rose in her chest, like cold water filling a cracked basin. She continued forward. Halfway down the corridor, the flickering light steadied just long enough for her to see it. At first, only a shape, a dark smear against the floor far ahead, too low to be a person on their knees, too long to be a shadow. Her breath stilled. The shape shifted. Long arms slid out first, pale and stiff, elbows jutting like broken hinges. A head lifted slowly, hair spilling forward like wet black rope. Then eyes deep, sunken pits ringed in darkness, and a grin stretched far too wide for any human face. The woman, if she had ever been a woman, crawled into the thin strip of emergency light. Her limbs were jointed wrong, made for speed instead of balance. Her fingers curled around the tile like claws gripping earth. Her cracked white skin looked powdered and painted with death. She moved with the precision of something that had chosen its target long ago. Marla froze. The crawling woman froze too. For a moment, they simply stared at each other across the hall. The entity's grin deepened, splitting her cheeks wider. Then she crawled, not clumsy, not desperate, fast, horribly fast, a fluid, gliding motion, elbows slicing the air, knees scraping without sound, hair dragging behind her like ink in water. Marla bolted, her shoes hammered against the ground, echoing through the hallway. But no matter how loud she ran, she could still hear the creature's hands slapping the floor behind her, crawling with manic precision, not chasing, hunting. She sprinted toward the stairwell, praying the door wasn't locked. The scraping grew louder, closer, until she felt the creature's breath on her calves. She slammed into the stairwell door and stumbled inside, gripping the railing as she launched downward. But the stairwell lights flickered violently, and in the strobe, she saw the crawling woman skittering down the wall, body bent backward, limbs contorted like a marionette pulled by invisible strings. Her mouth stretched in a silent laugh. Marla screamed and shoved through the door to the second floor. Darkness greeted her, thicker, heavier. The hallway felt wrong, stretched too long, like the building was shifting its shape around her. She ran, but doors that should have led to classrooms opened only into blackness. Windows reflected not her, but empty halls she knew were not real. The scraping resumed, slow now, savoring, choosing how to find her. Marla ducked into an alcove near the lecture wing and pressed herself against the wall. Her heart hammered so loudly it felt like the creature could hear it. Silence settled again. No scraping, no breathing, which was worse because she knew the entity was still there, somewhere deciding how to corner her. A faint creak came from above. Marla lifted her eyes. The crawling woman clung to the ceiling, body twisted unnaturally, her skull hanging down inches from Marla's face. That impossible grin spread wider, trembling with delight. The creature dropped silently, landing on all fours like an oversized spider. Her fingers pressed into the tile, cracking it. Marla tried to run, but her legs buckled. The creature crawled toward her slowly now, savoring the end. Her head tilted with a childlike curiosity. Her breath rattled like something ancient exhaling dust. Marla backed against the wall, tears streaking her cheeks. The crawling woman reached out, her long fingers unfolding like roots seeking soil. Marla whispered a prayer. The creature's grin stretched wider, and the hallway lights went out. Marla could not see the creature, but she could feel it, a weight in the darkness, like a scream holding its breath. The air grew colder, thinner, as if the crawling woman were drinking the oxygen straight from the hall. A soft tapping began, slow and rhythmic, like fingernails testing the floor for weakness. Then the sound shifted above her, then behind her, then directly beside her ear, though nothing touched her. Marla pressed a hand over her mouth to stop herself from crying out, but the creature exhaled anyway, a long, rattling breath that slid across her neck like a wet blade. The light stuttered once, revealing the woman for a fraction of a heartbeat, hunched backward like a shattered spider, her grin trembling with hunger. Then darkness swallowed her again. Something dragged across the tile, circling Marla, drawing closer with each breath. A cold fingertip brushed her calf. She couldn't run, couldn't scream. Fear welded her bones to the floor. The creature's breath grew louder, deeper, as though inhaling her terror made it stronger. Marla's vision blurred. Her knees buckled. The crawling woman's face hovered inches from hers, invisible, yet felt, a void shaped like a smile. Marla whispered please without sound. The creature answered with a slow, delighted inhale, savoring the moment she broke. Then a single word slipped into Marla's mind, not spoken, but carved. Mine.